And just like that, we are back for yet another Savage stream. I don't know, does that sound alright? I don't know. I need to come up with something though. You guys mentioned some stuff last night, but I need to go back through the chat and see what y'all were talking about. But there's no time to mess around because we have to just get right into this. This is going to be pretty fast paced like the last few. The Monday and Tuesday streams last night was a little bit crazy because we went over. Plus, I was getting all confused on like math whenever we were doing the calculations for profitability. And come to find out, I was actually right with what I was doing. So let's take a look at that real quick because I wanted to show you guys exactly what was going on. So I've been mining these, the shared rigs, the two shared rigs, they're mining to Hero Miner's pool, which is at the top of, you know, this is the one that has like 60% of the hash rate or something like that. I didn't even realize that that's what was going on, or that's what I was doing. I thought I had changed it over to the official pool, but you can see right here that I'm not. I'm actually on Hero Miners, and which is fine, whatever. But if I come down here, and this is the pool stats for one of the rigs. This is for Dagobah, I believe. It says down here somewhere. Yep, right here. So here's Dagobah, right? And I put in, you know, basically you can just look at all the stats and see what's up. It says that in a month, you know, typically we're going to mine over 1100 or around 1100 CCX, which is what we were getting on the calculator, but it threw me off because we haven't been mining that much. Like our months have been a lot less than that. And I haven't had time to really look at the difficulty to see if the difficulty dropped a lot. I mean, we can see a little bit here, but this is like a real generic graph here. I need to get into the actual statistics for CCX's or CONCEAL's pool network hash rate and difficulty to see if it has dropped. But yeah, that was crazy. I was looking at these numbers. I'm like, wow, that's nuts. And you can see right here where I changed it from 10 CCX minimum payout to 40. So there'll be a lot less of them, right? Basically, it's one per day. And I remember on the last stream a month ago, I was talking about that. I was like, yeah, I think I should make it to where I basically get one payout a day. And I remember calculating it out and saying, yeah, I'm going to set it to 40 because that's about how many you should get per day. So that's one payout per day. Makes it super clean, super easy. And come to find out, I mean, that's basically a day. I mean, 40 per day, which is crazy. Okay, I mean, I dig it. I like it. So just want to clear that up. Yeah, if you go to like what to mine, and if you look at just, let's just take one rig. So you got one rig doing 12.62K. So we throw that into what to mine, which is 12.62, like that, and at about 900 watts, that's my cost for electricity there, and calculate. So about 1,200 per month per rig. It seems astonishingly high, but I guess it's right. So it is what it is. All right. So anyway, all right, let's get back to what we need to cover tonight, because that was just kind of clearing up what is going on with the whole mathematical acrobatics that I was doing last night. So we're going to go through every step on getting set up and getting up and mining CCX using HiveOS. Man, I must be tired. HiveOS and some RX5. I've got one RX 570 and one RX 580 that we're going to use in this rig. We've been using this rig for testing lately, so that's what we're going to continue to use. And you can see that we are red today, and you can see that behind me too, this red, just to point that out. But I'm okay with this. I like accumulating at lower prices. So all right. So I got that all cleared up, the math. Let's see, let's check on CCX today. They are wow, okay, so they've actually gone up a little bit more since earlier today. Do a little refresh here. So they're actually up 53% in the past 24 hours. They're up over 100 and something percent, 173% for 30 days. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, let's keep it going. I mean, we started out the week at like 340,000 market cap, and we're at 693 now. So people are buying CCX. So that's good to see. I know they've got a lot of announcements coming out here soon, a lot of development and stuff. And you know, I've said this before. I mean, these guys, again, not sponsored. I know I hate that I have to keep saying that. Not sponsored at all. I just like these guys. I like the project, but you know, there's a lot to be said about someone or a project that continues to work hard in a down market, in a bear market, and they're just busy building stuff, right? I mean, that's cool. I can respect that. So that's another reason that I show them the love that I do. All right, so yeah, they're up to 8 cents again. That's awesome, 8.5 cents. Good job there. That's really happy. I'm really happy to see that. So this video that we're going to talk about all this stuff here, it basically assumes that you already have a rig built and that you want to use HiveOS to mine CCX. So that's the assumptions. So you start off on hiveos.farm. So I'll drop all these links in the description, to the different links that are the different websites that I reference in the video here. But you go here, and then you would go sign in, and then you have to, I think you might could click start mining too. But you know, on this splash page here or the home page here, you would learn all about what HiveOS is. Then you have to register, get registered. This kind of assumes that you already have done that part, or actually it doesn't, because we're going to be installing the OS too. But you have to get registered, get your email squared away, and get your login information. And then once that's done, once you're able to log in, you should come up to a screen that looks similar to this right here. It'll be blank, basically, right? No farms or anything like. Actually, it does come up with one. It'll come up with a farm, a generic farm. You'll have to rename it, and then you can go into that, but you won't have any rigs. No workers. Workers equals rigs in this case. So no workers listed. And you have to grab the image if you want to install it. So that's on the install page. So if you go to the main page here and then click install, you get to right here. And then in our case, we're on a GPU mining rig. So we're going to download the zip. And you can see I've already done it. Same version here. Well, it's got the little 1 after it. So we're all good to go there. Now you can use a lot of different programs for burning the image. They've got instructions here how to write the image, so I'm not going to really go through that. We use Balena Etcher, so that's what we're going to do. Let me fire up Balena Etcher. And then I'm just going to use a little 32 gig, same one I used the other night for HashRate.os, I think. I'm going to just use the same USB drive. It's a cheap 32 gig verbatim, something store and go or something like that. That's what I'm going to use. It's a USB 2.0, I think, so it's a little bit slower. So we have to select our image, so we're going to do that. No need to extract it or anything. It knows to go in there and grab the image file. Select the target. I don't have it plugged in yet, so let me do that. And then we're going to select the target in a moment. Here we go. It showed up. So actually, no, that drive says it's got SMOS on it, so it was not hash rate. It was simple mining. And then we're going to click continue. And then I showed you this. I'll show you this again. I'll show you every time probably that I run through this process. But if you don't want it to eject the disk automatically, or the USB drive automatically, so that you have to remove it and reinsert it to gain access to it again, because there's a file on here that you have to modify, right? Just like all the other mining OSs. Then you come in here and uncheck eject on success. So you leave it like that right there, grayed out, but not selected, right? So you leave it like that. This is also selected by default. I always turn that off as well. And then, okay. So we got the target, continue, and then flash. Then you get your little pop-up right here, and then go for it. All right, so that is flashing. It'll take a little bit longer than that first night with HashRateOS because this is a slower USB drive, a much slower drive. So that'll take a little bit of time. But while we're waiting on that, we can go ahead and add a worker. So let's do that. It is a GPU, so we're going to give it a name. This is the Scarif rig. It's kind of a test rig right now at this point. Let's go with, actually we'll just put password as X, doesn't really matter. I'm going to delete this. Don't worry about tags. We don't really have any that we need to put in here. I mean, I guess I could put that one in there. Okay, that's fine. We'll go 1XRX570, 1XRX580. Sounds good to me. Add. And then here's some information here that typically you're not going to want to show this to anybody. Again, I'm going to be deleting this, so it's not a big deal. But the simplest thing to do is go ahead and grab this file right here. Download rig.conf for this worker. You can modify the file, or create a rig.conf file manually if you want to, but I just think it's a little bit easier just to grab this file right here. So I'm going to click that. We're going to download it to the downloads folder. And then if you need to store them, because they're all going to be named the same, if you need to store it, what you can do is just rename it to whatever the rig's name is, for example, like this. And then whenever you drop it onto the drive, which you'll see in a few minutes, you just rename it back to rig.conf, right? That way you get a copy of it and you can just store it for later use. Makes things a little bit easier. So while we are waiting on this thing to slowly image, I'll check the chat and I'll try not to get too distracted. What's going on, everybody in here? Let's see who we got. We got Crypto Mining Lifer, Crypteth, what is up? Sonia Near, what is going on? Guild War, hey Bonzan channel. Jonas P, Guild War, what is up? Chuby, hey, what's up, man? Sarth, what's going on? Unknown Crypto, what is up? I think I got everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Smash that like and all that junk that you're supposed to do whenever you kind of at least minimally appreciate the content that someone's doing for free. So go ahead and do that. I appreciate it. Share it out. You know, do all the things that you're supposed to do as a good subscriber or a good viewer. It is much appreciated. I think I went over. Someone told me Dan the Danes told me I went over 1900 today, but I haven't even really looked at it. It says 1900 here, so that's cool. Sometimes this number is really weird. It kind of rounds up and down oddly. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for all the subscriptions. Yeah, I have a 3-day weekend coming up as well. Super cool, looking forward to it. And actually I can take this opportunity too to mention that if you weren't here for the last night's stream, I talked about this a little bit. On Saturday morning at 10:30 Eastern time, I'm interviewing the CONCEAL developers and the team of CONCEAL. Not interviewing them; they're just coming on the live stream, and we'll talk about the normal stuff that you would hear from a team, about the project and stuff. And they'll be in the live stream. They'll be in the chat. I think probably that it's going to be voice only. So what I'm going to do, they're going to be using Discord. So I'll just pump that into the stream, so that hopefully we can get some back and forth questions and answers and stuff like that. Maybe even from the viewers, if we have time and stuff. But should be super cool. It's kind of a rare instance because a lot of the privacy coins, especially one that's more or less overseas, CCX has some strong foundation in Turkey. So there, it seems like that's where a lot of the users are, and so it's kind of rare. for them to do, especially an interview or come onto a live stream live in English. That's kind of an odd thing. There are some very English speaking members of the team, so don't think that you're not going to be able to understand anybody. It's going to be yeah, it's going to be organized and really cool, and yeah, I think it'll work out really cool, and it'll be hopefully super informative. I think you know, my viewers are pretty knowledgeable, so you'll know the questions to ask if you want to ask any after we'll probably, maybe towards the end, we'll do like a question and answer session, maybe. Looking at probably, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most, something like that. I kind of see it going longer than that, but you never know. It just all depends on how we feel, I guess. But the founders will be there as well. So the founding developers. Crypto X or 0x, I think is what they call them. So it should be interesting. I think it's going to be neat. So what are y'all going to be doing this weekend? Crypto mining lifers going fishing, it looks like. Just don't go fishing Saturday morning. Saturday morning, you got to be here to find out about CONCEAL. Okay, so while this is going to, we could go ahead and look at what we normally do. We've got the spreadsheet here, the Google sheet that we always reference, and I haven't really updated it other than I changed the pool, because we'll talk about that in a minute too. But this is like a good sheet that shows, you know, the things you need in order to mine a coin successfully, right? All the data that you need. Pool, actually, you know what? I didn't update that one up there. Grab this right here. Yeah, so what did I have on here? I've got some overclock settings. I've got which miner. I don't know if we'll use Team Red Miner or not in Hive. Normally I would use XMR Stack in Hive, but we'll see. We'll see if they have 0.7.1. I'm not even sure. And I'm a little bit concerned about Hive and how long it's going to take to actually get back up and running. It's taken a long time to burn the image, for one, and then it seems to take a while before you can actually get things up and running and mining after you boot the rig the first time. So it's like a little bit of time delay there. So hopefully we can get this going pretty quick. But if you're watching this video after the fact, you can pause it right here for all the pertinent data regarding CONCEAL. Although, look at this. Whenever I first built this just a few days ago, whenever I first started the CCX, you know, series here that we've been doing this whole week, they were at 329 on the the market cap, 329,000, and now they're at 693,000. Is it because we've been talking about them? I don't know. I like to think so, but yeah, not likely. There have been several cases that, like, I mentioned a coin or something and it like pumps the next day. There was one specific case where I mentioned Loki one Monday morning, and by Tuesday it was up like 300%. That was like last year sometime, I think. Yeah, it just kind of happens like that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, they're up 48% today, up over 8 cents. That's awesome. Alright, so this is about done. Pretty soon. And then we'll get in there and add, we'll just copy, all I'm going to do is basically copy the rig.conf file to the appropriate drive. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Like if you left the defaults in here, then like right now you wouldn't be able to go in here and click on this drive, right? And you wouldn't be able to access the USB drive without ejecting it or removing it and reinserting it. And that's what that little option is in the settings, you know, where we said don't eject it after a successful burn, right? So I think this happens every time. Like you click it the first time, it doesn't come up. I don't know if that's my machine or if that's a Windows 10 thing. But you're only going to have access to one drive unless you have some tools installed to see a Linux partition. So if we come in here, we can see that basically we don't mess with anything other than they've got a rig config example.txt. And if you open that up, it tells you what you need to do and what to save it as. I think it tells you what to save it as. Yeah, save it as rig.conf. But because we're slick and we grab that rig.conf file from the rig that we added, the worker that we added, and it's in our downloads, we can just copy it. So I just right click copy, go back to the USB drive, right click paste, right? And then again though, you got to remember if you did rename it, it's got to be rig.conf for it to work. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now we can eject the drive. I think I'm going to be able to right click on it now because I think I fixed that problem I was having. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't crash. All right. Yeah, here we go. That's good. That's a good sign. So we'll go eject there. Close this down. Let's boot the rig off of it. Drive inserted, GPU fans are spinning, fired it up, so it should be good to go in a few minutes. And then we'll be able to jump through and go all through the wallet setup and everything. Speaking of wallets, let's go ahead and fire this one up. So we can get our address. Not that I don't already have it, I do. I got two-factor authentication on this wallet too. Alright, so there we go. We got the wallet up and running. And this is their progressive web app. It's like an application inside of Windows 10. Super cool. It's basically the same thing as the cloud wallet. It works the same way, and if you log in, with the same account, you're going to get the same on mobile as you get on the desktop, which is super convenient. So this is the address that we're going to mine to right here. This one with 100 CCX in it. Yeah, I gotta pull some weeds around my place too there, Jonas. I used to like it. Not anymore. Now I can't stand it. Oh wow, look, they're showing a market cap of 700,000 here. 8 cents. Yeah, let's go. This is like one of those times where I look at it, I'm like, let's go. Let's go to the moon like last summer, But not stop and then slowly decline. Let's go ahead and just go. I'm ready. Do a refresh and see if anything's showing up here. Okay, it looks like it is. So there's no flight sheet assigned or anything like that, so that's fine. It's got 2 GPUs, which is correct. Little test rig. So now let's go ahead and create a wallet. That's basically the first thing you have to do. We're going to create a wallet. I do have some in here because this is my actual account, so there's some older stuff in here. I did delete the CCX one, so that way we can go through the actual process of adding it. So we're going to go add wallet. Type in the coin, CCX, wallet address, this one right here, receive CCX, right? Copy that, throw it in here. Wallet name, we'll name it CCX. And actually I need to specify, this one is, we'll say progressive web app. PWA. Actually, you know what? I'll just say cloud because that makes more sense. All right, and then we're not going to worry about any of that because it's not going to be supported for CCX. Then we'll just go create. Now we can create a flight sheet. And I know I'm going fast, but you guys like that. I think most everybody enjoys the speed. All right, so here's where we run into a little bit of a problem because we want to use, oh, and I need to bring this up too. I know I always get ahead of myself here, but they actually have a new pool. Okay, so I guess the old pool is the official pool is going away at the end of this month, I believe, the last day. So anything that's in that pool that you haven't retrieved yet, I think is going to be sent to your address, you know, at the closing of the pool on the 31st, I think is the way it works. I think I read that right. And they're creating a community pool, or they already have it, pool.conceal.community. It's ran by the community so that it can be developed by the community and contributed to by the community, instead of the devs, the Conceal devs, having to worry about running a pool too on top of everything else, right? So it's kind of a little bit of a benefit to the community, but it's also a benefit to the devs because now they don't have to manage this pool so much, right? And pay for hosting this. Well, actually, I guess they would have to pay for hosting this too. I don't know how the financial part of it works, but just understand that there's a new pool. So if you are mining to the official pool like I was, there's a new one. It's pool.conceal.community. And it looks like if you go to miningpoolstats.stream, it does show up on here. It's called conceal.community right here. This is their official pool, so already the conceal.community pool is coming on up there, right? So eventually this one will go away and you'll only have conceal.community, which is fine. So it looks like this. Got a nice look, I like it. You know, it's got some help information over here, getting started and all that. But for right now, what we need is the pool address. So we're gonna click getting started. Then we're going to see the address right here, which I already have it documented, but I just want to show you where I grab it from so that you know how to do it yourself. Then we're going to go back to, not that, we're going to go back to the flight sheet. We're going to say, okay, it's not listed in here, so we're going to have to click configure in miner. Now we're going to have to click select miner. And we have to choose which miner we're going to use. We have been using Team Red Miner, but let's go ahead and use XMR Stack. I'm pretty familiar with it on here, I believe. At least I'll have to jog my memory. But we'll use XMR Stack just for the heck of it. Set up miner config. Fork, that looks good. Yes, right? Yep. And the latest 210.8. All right, and this we can probably, let's see, we go wallet, got both of those. I think that's going to be fine. But here is where you can't use a variable in here because you chose to add the pool inside the miner. So you're not going to be able to choose a variable in here. You have to actually put the miner in here, or the URL for the miner, or for the pool in here. Sorry. All right, so the pool and port, I guess, in here, right? So that was 333, okay. Password, I think that they've got it set up to where you can add your worker ID as the password. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take that out up here of the wallet, and we'll put the worker name here as the password. So it'll show up on the pool correctly. All right, now I think this is where we're going to have to do the we're going to have two different options here, I think. Let me think about this. Where did we see that? We saw it in, because you have to have variant, I think, right? Variant, and none of this stuff we'll use, I don't think, at this point. I know we can go here to get it, but I think it's going to be, see if we go over here to the pool and see if we can get some information here. Let's see. Oh, you know where it was? It was on their official pool. So let's go to their official pool. That's where I saw what we need here. So if we go over here, this is going away. So just kind of ignore what I'm doing other than, hey, this is where you can go to grab the information that you need. So the variant is conceal. And the algo is kryptonite, I guess. That's XMRig, but see here. Yeah, this might trip us up a little bit here. I wonder if we can just do this. I wonder if that will work. Let's find out. I don't know, what do y'all think? You think that's gonna work? Hey, what's up, Dan the Dane? Alright, so let's create the flight sheet. Says it was successful. Let's go ahead and go back to workers. And then we're not going to apply any overclocks right at the moment. I want to see if this is actually going to launch. So we're going to put a checkbox next to the rig. We're going to go to flight sheets. We've got the little up arrow here that's telling us we need to upgrade. But at this point, I'm going to let it rock because that was the latest image. It does need to be updated, but we'll see if this works or not. Click on CCX here. Click on CCX, the flight sheet that we created. Click apply. Should restart the rig. If you go into the rig like I just did, by clicking on it, you can kind of see what it's doing over here, right? See the error messages, or not even error messages, just status messages. So what we're going to see is if we can actually get the miner to start and log into the pool. That's the most important part right this second. I mean, we should upgrade, but I want to see if we can at least get it up and running first. You can kind of see what's going on if you put a check mark there and then go to remote access and do a Hive shell start. We should be able to look at what the screen looks like, you know, what it's actually doing if you were to attach a monitor to it. An XMR stack might not, the latest version might not be on this rig because it is an older image. I mean, that image was from at least a couple weeks ago, I believe. So maybe it's having to download it and all that stuff. I just typed in miner and pressed enter. Yeah, see, it's actually installing it. You can see it right here. So we're not done in 30 minutes, but that's okay. We're getting close. We're getting close. Okay, so we see that we have a problem, right? Unrecognized coin Monero. So it says right here the coin name. I believe this option here was coin names, I think. It won't let me scroll up. Yeah, because see, it says unrecognized coin Monero. So we need to put kryptonite conceal in there as the coin name. All right. And I think, can't get up there to that part. We could probably go and find the rest of the information that we need to. So let's go in here. And we are going to go back to the flight sheet super fast here. Edit the flight sheet. Miner config. So the coin or the currency is, see if this is gonna work. I'm messing this all up. Okay, that's not what I wanted. think it was kryptonite_conceal, right? So I wonder if that's all we need, right? So we're gonna try it like this. If not, then we'll put that back in there. Let's try that. Should throw it another reboot. Guild War, what are you trying to mine that is locking up or freezing up? What OS, what GPUs, you know, give me the hardware stuff so we can talk intelligently about it. Alright, so that was the old one, so I have to get out of here. We have to launch a new Hive shell here. Yeah, I don't have an easy monitor to plug up to this machine, so it helps to use these remote tools. Alright, so it looks like, so now we went in here, we can see that we are connected, logging in right here, boom. So we're good, and we're getting accepted shares. So if you see accepted shares, then typically that means that everything is good. You're logged into the pool, you're submitting shares, everything is great. You should be able to go to the pool and actually see once you get at least one share submitted. Some of them require more, but for the most part, as long as one share is submitted, you should be able to see information in here. So let's see if we can, yeah, payment address down here. Go and grab that address again. All right, yep, so we've got data in here. We've got the hash rate, how many hashes I've sent, how many valid shares, nice. The rig name is also nice. So we're good. We are up and mining it. Not too much longer than 30 minutes. I think technically we did it in less than 30 minutes from 0 to hero. We went burning the image all the way to mining CCX in less than 30 minutes because the first 8 minutes or so I was probably yapping about the other stuff. So yeah, awesome. All right, so we did it again. That was like our third time in a row that we've pretty much nailed that. So awesome. That is super cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more real quick. Let's see, let me just check my notes. We went through that. If you need help with the mining, they do have a mining, or the wiki. Let me paste this. I'll copy this and paste it into chat over here. This is the wiki for CONCEAL. They're really good. This is updated, I believe, all the way. Oh look, and they've got they've got XMR set. Yeah, see, I should have went with the mining help that they provided. That would have been super nice. It would have sped things up a little bit right here, because it says XMR stack, what the algorithm, but in this case it was asking, that would be the currency, right? Algorithm for XMR stack inside of HiveOS is what it is, that currency option, or the currency variable in there. So that's what needed kryptonite_conceal. So if you go back to the flight sheet, do that real quick. Just so that we can get a good shot of how it's set up. So you can see that the currency is kryptonite_conceal. That's all we needed. We didn't need the variant or anything like that. This was it. That's all we needed. And so you can pause it right here if you're watching after the fact to see how the miner looks, the miner config for the brand new CONCEAL community pool. Because if you chose one of the pools that's already in here, then those settings for you will already be in there for you. And that's actually a good thing to point out. It's actually kind of a trick, because if you don't know what needs to go into the miner, right, the miner config, and you want to use your own pool, then just choose one of the pools that are already in here. Doesn't even matter which one it is, just so that you can get the settings, right? So then you come over here to set up miner config, and it already has the information in here. At least I think it would. Here, I don't know. Nah, you know what? I think it stuck with whatever I had in there. I'd probably have to clear all this out and start it over, maybe. I don't know. go to hash vault and see if it changes anything here. I thought that before, see, before it wiped this out. Now it looks like they got it to where it doesn't do that. I thought that before, whenever you chose a different miner, it's been a little while since I've used Hive, so I think that whenever you chose a miner, it would actually wipe this out, and you'd have to choose your own miner and stuff. But okay, you know, whatever. So we'll leave it like that. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so let me see what else we got over here. Is the background sound still loud? You know, it's based on, I think it's individual songs. There's a lot of different tracks that I have in that folder, and it seems like some of the music is louder than others. So it's hard for me to, because I can't hear it. I don't know what it's doing. All I'm looking at is at a level, and I normally put it to like 34, negative 34 dB, but right now I've got it at negative 40, so that should be quite a bit quieter. Savage, Dan the Dane. So let me know if that is a little bit better. It should be. I feel like it's going to be too quiet, but you know, I guess maybe you got sensitive ears or something. But anyway, yeah, it should be better now. I can see maybe before it was a little bit louder, but I do keep it pretty far down there as far as levels go compared to my microphone. So my voice is low. Increasing the sound. That's interesting. I cannot increase it any more than it is. Let me see. I'll have to maybe check my filters on this mic. I mean, I could always pull it a little bit closer too. I mean, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Maybe a little. I don't know. I'll have to play around with that. Real rig build competition. Are you talking about the Veta frame build? Yeah, I think that's coming up next month, right? And in that one, I lost. I was horrible. I was day drinking. It did not turn out well. I really felt like I was going to have a little bit of an advantage. It didn't work out that way. I came in like 4th place by like a long shot, like 10 minutes. So maybe even more than that. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. But the next one is probably going to have Boss Coin, not your normal miner. Maybe Bits Be Trippin'. I haven't been watching the chat on it because I lost and I'm a sore loser. So Crypto Mining Lifer won it, so that's awesome. So yeah, I think June 6th, that's awesome. And yeah, I'll check the volume on my mic here. It might be, you know, it could be because tonight I have the fan on and I don't always have the fan on, so it could be kind of creating enough background noise that it needs to suppress it in some way, maybe. I don't know. All right, what was I going to? Let me get back to what I was working on because I'm totally getting distracted by the chat here. All right, so it's actually not showing as mining in here. It must have freaked out, probably because of overclock, because it's got high temperature. Okay, so I wasn't paying a whole lot. Oh, you know what? Because it's a new rig too, we need to also configure the auto fan here. Let's go ahead and go up here. And then we'll go apply. Yeah, I forgot about that because it's a brand new rig basically. So it must have shut it down because of high temp. And maybe that's not why it's not showing any hash rate, but we did see hash rate on the pool, so we know it's doing something, right? It probably just crashed or it probably stopped it because of the over temp. And that's what happens whenever you get distracted by chat and you're not paying attention, and then you wreck your rig like that. All right, so we'll come back to that in a minute and see. But what I wanted to show you was, you know, we discovered the pool, right? So they did a announcement. CCX CONCEAL Network did an announcement about the pool. Here it is. And this is a PPLNS. I guess that their last pool was PPS, maybe. I don't know for sure. But PPLNS, and if you're not familiar with what those are the differences between those two, PPLNS and PPS are the two most popular ones that they use now. There's been a whole host of different protocols or mining pool technologies used over the years, but PPS and PPLNS are the two most commonly used today. And if you want to learn more about those, go over to Not Your Normal Miner's video here on, he's doing a difference between PPS and PPLNS, two different pools on Aeon. It's a little bit older, but he does talk about the difference between the two technologies, so I think that that's super important to kind of understand that and learn about those types of things. So I'll post that in the chat as well. Crypto Mining Lifer, I don't know how many YouTubers are going to compete on the 6th. Do you have any recent information about that? If you do, other than what you've already said, please put it into chat there. Because quite honestly, I'd be willing to throw down a little donation to get back in there and try it again. If you guys are running low on contestants here, I might want to try it again. Yeah, so if you look at his video on this, it'll explain it a little bit better. Look at how different simple mining looked back then. Look at that. Crazy, right? Here's what it looks like now. Then, now. Yeah, they've done a lot of updates, a lot of good job. Yeah, so Voscoin, possibly BBT, Not Your Normal Miner. There were, I think, 3 others, I thought, at one time. There should be maybe 5 or 6 in that one. That'll be neat to watch also. Let's go and check on our rig here and see what it's doing. Nope, it's still, let's see here. Okay, so it's trying to get cooled down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and throw the upgrade in here and see if we can get that done too. And the upgrades, oftentimes it'll fix crazy stuff, because like what we're seeing is there's no hash rate or any information out here on the main screen here. So it kind of concerns me. Although we know that it's mining because the pool says we are. So I know that it's submitting shares and stuff. So let me do a refresh here. I mean, it still has information down here for us, so I think it's still good, even though HiveOS is not showing us that. Kind of strange, but I've run into this before with HiveOS not showing the correct information in here. But I think that it's probably going to be cleared up by updates and whatnot, so I think we'll be okay momentarily. Is there anything else anybody wants to see? Anything anybody wants to talk about? Wants me to show them, potentially? Anybody buying the dip? What are y'all doing? Oh wow, Aeon's up big. Nice. I didn't even know that. Back up to 9 cents. It's crazy. Rio's pumping out at 25%. What's Zell doing? Down below 3 cents again. Zell is another team that has been working during the bear market as well. Non-stop working. Solid project. in my opinion. Not financial advice or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know if I would actually try to do that, Jonas P. It would be cool though, but yeah, I had no plan. I was not focused. I was drinking. It was not good. It was all around not a good scenario for me. I'm not making excuses, but 40 minutes is how long it took me to build that beta frame. I know I can do it faster than that. I don't know about 30 minutes. Maybe somewhere around in there. I don't know. Let's go and look at some profitability. It looks like Dan the Dane wants to go and look at some stuff. Go to what to mine, and we can look at this rig, or one of the rigs from last night. We got Dagobah and Mustafar here. So all this looks right. Make sure we're hitting all the exchanges too. Yeah, they're all in there. Awesome. Wow, okay, so check this out. So because CONCEAL is pumping right now, they are moving up this list pretty rapidly, because they were like, I don't know, page 5, something like that, way down here before. So it's really cool to see them edge. They're basically third. That's awesome for an RX 580 rig. And it says right here, plain as day, you would earn about 40 a day, which is what all of our other indications say as well. You know, the pool says that. The what to mine calculator says that. The payouts also represent that, about 40 a day with this rig. So that's awesome. Yeah, you basically should get about 5 CCX per day with an RX 580. You should get about 4 with an RX 570. And a Vega 56 or 64 should get about 11 CCX a day. The 5700 XT should get about 6, which price-wise, I guess that it would be better to have a couple of RX 580s, right? Because then you would be getting 8 instead of 6. But, you know, not financial advice. But then you got the Radeon 7 pumping out a harsh, disrespectful 16 plus CCX per day. Per Radeon 7. That's just crazy. Let's go up here and we'll go to this test one that I have here. We'll throw in one Radeon 7 and see what it says for CONCEAL. It's number 1. Absolutely number 1. 63 cents a day after power. I mean, number 1 behind NiceHash. Okay. That's crazy, right? That's awesome, but it's good to see. I mean, it's so cool to see CONCEAL at the top like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's go and check on our rig and see what it's doing. Nope, it failed. So that happens quite often. I see that a lot. I'm going to do a force upgrade just to see if we can get this thing up and running. I really don't want to end the stream and not have this thing hashing away and showing you on here. Now, I think I remember, if I remember correctly, HiveOS does not like to show XMR stack stats very well. So right here, but it should at least say CCX, and I think it does say a somewhat accurate hash rate also. I don't remember. It's been a while since I used HiveOS for CCX, so we'll probably have to play around with this a little bit. Yeah, Jonas P. I mean, I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have some fun, and it was hitting me too hard. I mean, I remember. Now, I built, you know, quite a few Veta frames, especially the 6 GPU version. And I remember taking the rails out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, where does this go? I remember thinking to myself, I don't understand, you know, what am I looking at here? But I know that stuff pretty well, and I know where all the parts go. So it was it's crazy. Yeah, I surprised myself. I disappointed myself. And some of my most prominent viewers. I let y'all down, and I feel bad about it. Right, so it says successful now, and I do hear the rig restarting. Okay, here we go. That's good. So this is what I wanted to see. At least some hash rate in here, you know, a couple of green boxes over here for the power and not the power, but the fans and the temperature. Looking pretty solid. I like it. I think we are done. That's basically 55 minutes or so. Not too bad, but that is like really, you know, what, 20 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer than what it really honestly took. Because we were actually done a while back. We were just trying to verify the stuff on the pool, you know. Not verify it on the pool, but verify it in HiveOS. So that we have done. We are good to go. So I think with that being said, that's going to be all of it. Tomorrow is going to be Crypto Fireball Friday. If you thought that this was, I have no idea what we'll talk about. It'll probably be CCX because this is like CCX's week. But if you thought that this was helpful or entertaining or whatever, if you got some value out of it, be sure to smash that like, subscribe, share the video with all your friends, that kind of stuff, especially if they're interested in CCX or privacy coins in general. CCX is a good project for them to take a look at. I think that's it. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to look at something, talk about something? I can go for about another 3 minutes and then I'll feel like we've really accomplished something. So let me know. I don't know what y'all want to look at. If you want to look at something. You are very welcome there, Dan the Dane. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Alright, so it sounds like you guys want to get out of here. I do too. It's all good. I will see you guys tomorrow night for Crypto Fireball Friday. Should be a good one. I don't know what we'll talk about, but it'll be something, and it will involve Fireball and Sweet Tea. So I'll see you all tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.